You want to talk about your two captains, how you feel about them and the selection process to Richard?
So this first year is, historically, we've never not had a senior since I've been here. I don't know previous before that, but so I recognized as that we didn't have seniors, we're going to have to go out and find ways to develop captains. So we started in January, and I chose Nicklin and Lauren, and we worked with them. It was a collaborative effort. We did a book study on a book called Culture Code, and so we started developing a leadership mindset and expectations for what a leader is in this program, and carried that into Asia this summer, gave them a lot of responsibility and threw it on them, and they handled it really well. At the end of the Asia trip, it was pretty obvious that they were going to be our captains.
Why did you choose Nicklin and Lauren to begin with?
Well, anytime you can have your setter be a captain, it's a huge advantage because they're running the show. As I tell our setters, they're driving the car and everybody's along for the ride. So you want them in that leadership role. And, you know, she's got to watch Kelly Hunter for 3 years be in that position and do really well. And so you always try to have a setter be a captain. You hope we try to recruit setters that can be in that role. And then Lauren, you know, has been through the grind here. She's started off, didn't play. She's become an All-American. She works really hard. She's improves all the time, and I felt like her team really respects her because of that, and she's a competitor, and so I just thought the combination of those two would be good. We'll find out, but it's also, I would say it's Lauren now is I think changes how she sees herself. She was kind of just long hair having fun playing, and now she, I think, feels a responsibility for Nebraska Volleyball. Having said that, you know, there's a deep connection with her with Nebraska because, you know, her dad was a big-time basketball player here in the state, and so you know, like I've always said, you're when you play for Nebraska Volleyball, you're playing for more than just yourself and your team. I mean, this is a Husker Nation and traditions that you're playing for and upholding those, everything that's happened here in the past. So there's a big responsibility with that, and I felt she wanted that.
John, the players talked about the Stanford match and how that's really kind of served as motivation for them. Has that created some sleepless nights for you, just having to sit on that throughout the entire offseason?
You know, I don't know if that's specific. I'm fired up that we get to play them again, and I know they set the bar pretty high. I was, you know, I've talked to them all year long that it was 3 plays that was the difference, and 2 of them were cardinal errors that we preach in our gym that should never happen, and it was in the 5th game, and so they've heard that. That haunts me, but I don't know if it's kept me up, but it's motivated me to do a better job coaching. So if we're in that position again, we're going to make those plays and not let those things happen.
How do you feel about just your freshmen as a whole?
Really good. It's a really good group. They went to Asia, didn't bat an eye. They didn't pee on the floor once, so pretty good. But they handle it really well, and I think all of them, you know, I mean, we were rotating lineups, and we didn't miss a beat in Japan and China.
About Nicole specifically, I was just curious, what was kind of the impetus behind her decision to reclassify?
So that's a little bit of a story in that. So when we were recruiting Nicole, she won 2 state championships in Texas as a 9th grader and 10th grader. Her junior year, she actually went, and she's dual citizenship. So she went and played for the Brazil youth team that trained for 4 months and went to the youth championships to qualify for the world championships that are going to happen next month. And we have, you know, there's some girls from, there's a player in state who's going to be representing USA on that. So when she did that, she dropped out of high school and went to an online high school program. So I said, well, why don't you just come a year early and graduate? So we started talking about that her junior year. Well, she had to make sure she could graduate, and then she had to give up going to the Junior Youth World Championships, which will be next month. And once she made that decision, I said, it's a no-brainer for you to come early. We're going to Asia. Let's do it. And so that's kind of how it worked out. So she had to really grind to get graduated. But the big decision was she decided she didn't want to go to Brazil. And because they wanted her from May all the way till the fall. She's a very good student. She wants to go to school, and in Brazil, the next step there is you stay there and play pro and not go to school. So that was the road she was going down, and made that choice. So that's how it kind of worked out. But she got here right before we went to Asia, and all the other ones were here starting on May 20th. So it's been a little bit of adjustment for her, but she's done great.
Players didn't really touch on it. Are you ready to reveal the theme or the slogan for the season?
That's going to be there. They're going to do it for us tomorrow night. So not yet, but.
Two other freshmen, Maddie and Kenzie, both went through beach season, went through indoor season, now the China and Japan trip. I mean, how far are they ahead of the game as far as freshmen than what you normally might expect for incoming?
I just think they've been through it now. I mean, when we go to Asia, it's like a third of a season for us. The training days and then the competition days. I mean, it's basically a month. And so they got to go through that. They got to play out at McCook, which is a big pressure match for first-time freshmen. I mean, it's 1,800 people, but it's loud, it's packed, it's a big deal. And then I think the beach allowed them to really integrate with their teams. So they're very, very comfortable. And I think they've also really helped the other three freshmen that came in the summer to really transition in well, because they're already here. They got their buddies. They're all in the dorms. So, that's their little pack. And when you got people who have already been here and know where to go to class and, how to take care of everything, get signed up for stuff, it was really helpful. So they did a great job of, like I said, integrating the other freshmen, Riley and Fallon and Emma, when they got here.
Kenzie left big shoes to fill, obviously, at libero. How's that position kind of shaping up, or in your mind?
That's going to be a great battle. So we're going to find out who's ready for that and who wants it. So that'll be one of the big question marks, I think, for this team is who can step in and take that role.
John, where's your confidence level at compared this year compared to maybe in some past years?
I'm never very confident, So I just know this. I really like this team. We have some competitors on it, and I think they hate to lose. And anytime you got a group like that, that's a fun group to coach. We went to Asia. They didn't bat an eye. I never heard one complaint the whole trip. And again, this is our 5th time we went, and all the other times I threatened to send people home from China or Japan. So this group handled it really, really well, and I feel like they're a very close-knit group, and they've worked really hard. So we got a shot. So that's all I want. And I haven't slept for the last couple nights just because I'm so excited for the season to start, and I'm really glad I feel that way because that's the way it should be. This is a big deal. It's fun. It's exciting. I wish we could have started when football did, but anyway, I'm just really excited, and I like this group, and they really impressed me in the Asia trip.
Is this a Final Four team, John?
I'm not going to say that now, but our challenges are going to be, our really big question mark, and probably the theme this year is. Obviously, now we know what a great player Michaela Fecke was. I mean, she's literally in the hunt to go to the Olympics as literally, you want to call it a freshman, that's unheard of at that level. So who is going to step up and take that? So ask me that in a few months, and I'll tell you. If we got Capri Davis, Lexi Sun, Jazz Sweet, all those guys are in, who's going to take over that responsibility, and who wants to do that under pressure, and we're going to get tested. So, in our conference and our non-conference schedule, we're going to get plenty of opportunities to work on that. I think the other big question mark is who's going to play libero and who's going to control the court for us, and that's another big question mark. So we only graduated really 2 starters in Brooke, but those were 2. I mean, they went to 4 straight Final Fours and won 2 natties. So I think that is the question. So I don't know. Until we get in that and throw them out there, who knows? And I think I look at football as the same thing. I mean, who's going to replace Stanley Morgan? Who's going to replace Devine and those guys? Who wants to step up and do that? And I think that's the question most years. And for us, that's really going to be what determines where we go and how far.
Where did you want Lexi to get better this past offseason?
Everything. Learn how to play Nebraska Volleyball. I think Lexi's played Lexi Volleyball her whole life, and she's very talented, but she has to play within our system and more discipline and be able to understand how we play, and she can't dominate people anymore like she could before. You have to become, and that's what Michaela learned. Michaela just thought she could just pound the ball on everybody, and but you have to, in our level, in our league, you got to be smart and understand how to play the game. And I've seen tremendous progress from her, and she's worked really hard. And so I'm excited to see what she can do. And I think the other thing is carry a passing role. And Michaela for 2 years never passed, and we're asking Lexi now. She passed last year, and now to carry more of a passing role as a junior. So that's something that, we've challenged her to work on.
If you had to choose, would you say that you lost a lot from last year's team, or you're returning a lot from last year's team?
It's a good question. I feel like we're really young, but it feels. I guess you don't appreciate them till they're not here anymore. And Michaela and Kenzie, I now really realize what great players they were, great teammates, great leaders, great competitors, and they set a great example, And I watched video yesterday with Maddie Kubik, and we just watched Michaela, all the things that she did, and I said, this is how we want to play. She was in this program for 4 years, and she understands how we want to play, and so she's a great role model for these guys.
Touch on Lexi. So what do you need to see from Jazz on that other side?
Again, stepping up and having a bigger role and being a go-to player, and and that's about establishing confidence with the setters that they're going to set her when it matters and the game's on the line. I also think Jazz senses that. She wants to have a bigger role by being a 6 rotation player, so we'll see if she can do that. And again, remember, Michaela for 2 years was just a 3 rotation, so that's the carrot we've been dangling for her, and then I want to see her have a bigger impact with her team. As she's one of our older players now. She's won a national championship. She's been very close, so she knows what it takes, and can she make her teammates around her better? And that's going to be a big step for her.
What can Kelly Hunter bring to the program?
I was doing jumping jacks when she called me and said she wanted to come back. I think Kelly, I've been telling her whole career she'd be a great coach. I actually think she's thinking about it now. She is getting her master's. It's an MBA program, so there's a business part of her that maybe she'll want to go into business. But as a grad manager, she's limited on what she can do. But just having her there, because we still have 2 very young setters, so it's just, we're going to use her in every way we can, and Kelly has a presence about her that you can't you either have it or you don't, and obviously she has it. So I hope she really wants to go into coaching, because if she goes through this year and really enjoys it, because I think she could be great.
John, you opened with Creighton. Your thoughts on that being game number 1, considering the series and the way it's gone and how close it was last year? And
yeah,
it's going to be a great display for volleyball.
Yeah, expecting the same thing. It's going to be a really great test, and just so happened this year it worked out where opening weekend worked best for both of us, and so I think it's a great way to start off the season. And that tournament, there's Baylor and UCLA. Those all 4 of those. Hopefully all 4 of those teams, including us, are top 10 teams or thinking about being top 10 teams. So that's a great way to start off the season, and so there'll be a lot of attention on that match, and both teams will be really excited and probably really nervous, and so, but Creighton's doing a great job, and it's pretty cool. I mean, you tell me another sport we had 2 top 10 teams, in this state. It ain't happening. It hasn't happened.
About 1 or 2 more questions.
Talk about middle blocker. I mean, Callie kind of stepped forward last year to really fill that second middle blocker. Both have her and Lauren come back. Does it mean at least one of your positions are fairly stable in the lineup?
Yeah, I think Callie had some great moments last year. She had some rough moments, so now we're going to see if she can be great all the time. And I saw her in Asia play 2 of the best matches I've ever seen her play since I've been coaching her. So I'm hoping she can carry that into this fall and has a confidence now, and she can really, but we have some great middles we have to go against. I mean, Dana Recky's been playing with the USA team all summer, so that's one middle she's going to have to go against. But I know Callie is a competitor, and I think the better the competition, it brings out the best in her. But I'd like to see her really take it up a step. Or take it up a notch this year compared to last year. But, she was second in the conference in blocking as a freshman. So she'll have to deal with the expectations with that as well, but it'd be nice to see her really blossom.
Is Nesha going to keep working there, or is she moving back to hitter?
Nesha will be back to her natural spot. So that's one regret I had last year, was moving her in the middle, because it's just tough on a lefty, and then she got hurt, so it was tough. But the good thing is she's come back, and physically she's better than she was a year ago this time, and so it's been good. She's worked really hard, but she'll go back to her natural spot.
All right, thank you, everybody.
Thanks, you guys.